Yeah, I mean, one of them was Cardinal Robert Sarah, who you and I were talking about this past weekend. He's getting a lot of buzz. He's from Guinea, he could be the first African pope. He has talked about cracking down on illegal immigration. At one point saying in recent years that if you want to try to use the Bible to justify mass migration, you're wicked. That was his word, wicked. And so a lot of people are looking to say, maybe this is someone who would pull the church in a different direction from Pope Francis. And I met, like I said, Cardinal Sarah on the street. He just walked past me. I was stunned to see such a prominent figure all by himself. Shook his hand, introduced myself as a journalist from the United States. He was very friendly, but very politely made it clear to me he was not doing interviews, he was not taking pictures, and he just kept walking because they've been instructed, you know, what's going to happen in the Sistine Chapel and leading up to that with the conclave that starts a week from Wednesday. There's secrecy here, and so they don't want to be leaning any way. They don't want to say anything out of turn, Bianca.
108 of those cardinals were elevated to cardinal, as we've been discussing, by Pope Francis. 130 will gather for that process in the Sistine Chapel. There's reports that Italian journalists today, Ed, were asking Vatican officials if this Italian cardinal who was convicted of financial crimes by the Vatican, and if he's going to be part of the proceedings. They said no resolution. And that's sort of the things I think people are wondering, what are they talking about in the next week before the conclave? There's a lot of business with the church, financial and other things that they'll be taking care of before they go into the secret ballot. So we can expect there to be a lot of news even before the conclave.
Yeah, and in fact, we may have some news on that because I'm joined right now by a friend of Newsmax, Father Gerald Murray. You know him from St. Joseph's Church in Manhattan, and it's so great to see you, Father, as always.
Thank you, Ed.
And Bianca was just asking me about this cardinal. There had been some question about whether or not he'll be able to vote after questions of financial impropriety. You were just telling me off air that you're hearing some buzz about that. Is there going to be a resolution?
Yes, today this is Cardinal Becciu, who's originally from Sardinia, and he renounced his papal or his cardinalatial privileges at the request of Pope Francis because he had been involved in financial irregularities, who were actually convicted in the Vatican court.
So he will not have a vote?
He will not have a vote, but a few days ago when he flew into Rome, he said he was going to attend the conclave because he said there were legal formalities had not been fulfilled for his exclusion. But yesterday, the Cardinal Secretary of State, Cardinal Parolin, produced a letter from Pope Francis saying that indeed Cardinal Becciu cannot enter the conclave, and today Cardinal Becciu confirmed that he will not try to enter the conclave.
He will not be there. There will be roughly 135 cardinals who will be in there and can vote. We're hearing there are going to be jamming devices outside the Sistine Chapel. You can't bring your phone in. I know Cardinal Dolan and others are with the modern era. They carry cell phones. You can't bring it in. And they're worried jamming devices to make sure that someone outside the Sistine Chapel doesn't have telecommunications or radio signals. Talk about this process, this buzz right now about what's going to happen a week from Wednesday.
Yes, no, the eavesdropping is a big fear because we know the spy agencies can eavesdrop from great distance on people's conversation. We don't want that because the conclave is a sacred meeting before all else. So these men are at prayer. They're not politicians. You know, they're not involved in a campaign. This is an attempt to discover who'd be the best pope. So now, from now to next Wednesday, there's going to be a combination of activities. The cardinals will pray. There's a mass every day for Pope Francis's soul. The cardinals will get together in what's called the general congregations, and at those, cardinals who are over 80, who cannot vote, they meet with the cardinals under 80 who can vote. So there'll be a big crowd, and each cardinal is given an opportunity to give a 5-minute address to describe the situation in the church and what would be the qualities to look for in a man to be the next pope.
So that's big picture. Come on, Father.
Yeah.
I got to send it back. You can tell me. Who's it going to be?
I can't tell you because I don't know. The crystal ball's back in New York. But I tell you, we pray and we hope that a good man will emerge from this
I think
discussion.
the crystal ball's back upstairs somewhere. Some of the cardinals are saying it's in God's hands right now, Bianca. We'll be calling on Father Murray a lot in the days ahead. It was great to be with you this weekend, Bianca, and we've got a great team here on the ground. And this is all about Newsmax staying here and making sure we're bringing you every development between now and the conclave and beyond about the future of the Catholic Church. Over 1 billion people who are members. Bianca.
Yeah, and a big thanks to Father Gerald Murray, who 1 week ago today was sitting next to me here on the set as we were covering the breaking news of the Pope's passing. And you're right, immense interest in this particular conclave, Ed, in our final moment, because it is the most diverse and it's the largest one, and also the future of the church